We have our last speaker of the evening, two speakers actually. They are both students studying psychology. Their Hawk Talk is called Do Dads Really Deserve Paternity Leave? We have Amanda Vidal and Joshua Goetz.
Hi guys, I'm Amanda Vidal.
And I'm Josh Goetz.
And today we're here to talk about fathers and paternity leave.
So do dads really deserve paternity leave? I mean, do they need paid time off to take care of their newborns? Isn't that why we have maternity leave for mothers? And can't the mothers just take care of the kids by themselves?
So this might not sound too important or too relevant to you guys out here, but for anybody planning to start a family in their future, these are really important questions to ask yourself.
Yeah. And so you might be asking yourself right now, what benefits could there be for the father staying home and taking care of his newborn child? Well, Amanda and I, as well as the rest of our research team, conducted a study here at Monmouth in order to tell you more about paternity leave, inform you about why it is important, and then also tell you why it might be something you need to advocate for in the future.
So for those of you not familiar with the term, paternity leave is a leave of absence from work, ideally paid, for new fathers to stay home and help take care of their newborn children. Currently, we have federal laws and regulations in place that offer up to 12 weeks of unpaid leave for new fathers. But realistically, how many families can really afford to have a portion of their income cut off for up to 3 months? Imagine all the expenses that come with having a child. I'm talking about diapers, wipes, formula, baby clothes, nursery furniture, and toys. Let's face it, children are expensive. In a 2015 USDA report, the average middle-income family spent about $13,000 on child care expenses in the first year alone. And that doesn't include the price of childbirth itself. So it's for this reason that it's just not feasible for families to take a decrease in their pay for an extended period of time. And this is especially true in households with two-father families.
Fortunately, in certain states, such as New Jersey, there are laws and regulations that provide paternity leave for new fathers. Unfortunately, however, the amount of time, as well as the amount of time the work is paid, or the time off is paid, is determined by the company and not the state. Currently, California is the only state leading the charge in giving fathers paid paternity leave. So this really does just leave fathers with a decision that isn't really a decision at all. Mothers are forced to leave their jobs and go home to take care of their newborn kids, while the fathers have to go out and work and leave their children and provide for the family and keep the family afloat. So this makes it so that the father loses out on the beginning and early stages of childhood and all the experience that comes with it, while mothers are becoming child care experts. This makes fathers feel less confident in their own abilities to take care of their own children. So this is really just not something that we want to keep doing, and we need to advocate for paternity leave. And if you think about it, this makes sense, because practice makes you better at what you're doing. And the same goes for childcare. Okay, so the more practice the fathers get, the better they're going to feel at taking care of their own children, and the more confident they're going to feel. And this is really bad if you think about it for child and father relationships. So even if the father wants to become more involved with his kids, he might not have the confidence or the abilities to do so in the future. And this leads to only a further disparity between the amount of child care labor between the mothers and fathers in the future.
And this doesn't mean that dads can't take care of their children. In fact, studies show that fathers who are more involved with childcare in the beginning continue to be more involved throughout the lives of their children. They just need that extra time to put in that extra work. And don't get us wrong, we're not saying that paternity leave is all about benefiting the fathers and making them feel more confident in their role as caretakers, because it's not. Paternity leave has benefits for the entire family as well. For example, when fathers stay home to take care of children, childcare roles can be divided equally, and moms can have more time to partake in stress-relieving activities, which can reduce postpartum depression symptoms in mothers. Paternity leave also benefits the working mom, because not only does it facilitate the transition back to work, and studies show that in families where fathers take a longer leave of absence, mothers actually take less sick days off from work. Paternity leave benefits children as well. As dads become more confident in their role as a caretaker, the bond between him and his child gets stronger. And these father-child bonds are seen to be as equally important as mother-child bonds when it comes to child development. Also, higher father involvement is associated with less behavioral problem in adolescence and to children forming more secure attachment styles. So clearly, paternity leave has positive impacts for families, for new fathers and their children. So how can we give families what they deserve? Well, we could start with something simple as awareness. As we mentioned earlier, we conducted a study here at Monmouth University on students' perceptions of paternity leave. And surprisingly, we found that only 62% of students actually knew what paternity leave was. Now, this number is surprisingly low, considering the fact that college students are the next cohort to enter the workforce, and paternity leave will more than likely have an impact on their lives. Another implication with this number being so low is that in our study, we found that lower levels of knowledge of paternity leave correlated with lower perceived importance. And lower perceived importance of paternity leave led to lower perceived necessity. So what does this mean? This means that the less people know about paternity leave, the less important they think it is. And the less important they think it is, the less necessary they think it's for fathers, and the less likely they are to advocate for it in their workforce.
Spreading the word about paternity leave and the impact it has on families will only increase the understanding that the general population has on the topic. And by increasing people's understanding of the topic of paternity leave, we're going to increase their perceptions of importance and the feeling of necessity for paternity leave. And when people think paternity leave is more important because of all the reasons we have stated earlier, they're going to decrease that current stigma that we have around the topic.
So get out there and spread the word. Let's give mothers, fathers, and children everything they deserve, starting with paternity leave.